All right, Jane, I think we're tackling perhaps the biggest question human beings can ask today. What is the future of humanity? It's a huge one, right?
Absolutely, Don. And honestly, it's a question that keeps me up at night, sometimes with excitement, sometimes with a little bit of existential dread. Where do you even begin with something so vast?
Exactly. I mean, do we start with the grand, almost sci-fi visions, the multiplanetary Poseidon of utopias, or do we ground it in the more immediate pressing concerns like climate change and social inequality?
I think we have to acknowledge both. It's like looking at a really complex tapestry, where some threads are shining brightly with innovation and others are frayed with challenges. Let's start with exciting technological advancement you see shaping our near future.
Oh, without a doubt, it's got to be artificial intelligence. It's not just a tool anymore, it feels like a competitor. We're seeing it in everything from drug discovery to creative arts. The sheer acceleration is mind-boggling.
I agree. AI is revolutionary. But revolutionary can be a double-edged sword, can't it? On one hand, imagine medical breakthroughs, personalized education, solving complex global problems.
That's a fantastic analogy. And honestly, I lean a bit towards the cautious with optimism. I think AI will fundamentally change what it means to work, freeing up humans for more creative or intrinsically human pursuits.
And speaking of changing what it means to be human, what about biotechnology, CRISPR gene editing, personalized medicine, extending life? It's not just about curing disease anymore, it's about enhancement. Are we ready to redefine natural?
Oh, that's where it gets really interesting and frankly a bit unsettling for some. The idea of designer babies or it's extending life in the flesh and that's when Lorraine's a camperich. That's what you all parrot is, isn't it?
It is, and that's the tension. We want to alleviate suffering, but then where do we draw the line? If you can edit out a predisposition to a certain disease, and what happens to human diversity if everyone is optimized?
Right. Are we heading towards a world where world me acti splits in multiple subspecies based on not just sci-fi ideas? It brings up questions of equity and access that we're barely even beginning to grapple with.
And on a completely different but fully grand scale, there's CIS, the idea of humanity becoming a multiplanetary species, establishing colonies on Mars, perhaps even further out.
Oh, space exploration. That's when my inner child lights up. Imagine the resources, the sheer wonder, the new perspectives it could offer us on Earth. And what about the ethics of colonizing other worlds? Do we just export our problems?
We can't escape our human nature, even in space. But I do think the drive to explore, to expand, is fundamentally is a global unity. It's what's gotten us for off-world goal.
I hope so. But before we get too lost in the stars, let's bring it back to Earth for a moment. All these incredible technological advancements are happening against the backdrop of some immediate challenge since. How does that factor into the future of humanity?
It's the ultimate wild card, isn't it? Because if we don't get that right, all the AI and biotech space all useful is climate change isn't about reduced temperatures, it's about rise of snamray.
Indeed. And the irony is some of the very technologies we're talking about, like advanced energy solutions or carbon capture could be part of the solution, or global cooperative on a scale of collaboration, or will national interests always win out?
That's the million-dollar question. I'm an optimist at heart, but sometimes I look at the political landscape and think, are we really going to pull this off? Hasi and Batanti, we problem on this, and it's just them.
Right? And it's not just climate. The other huge challenge is inequality, which I touched on earlier. If we have these incredible technologies that can extend life, enhance KBSP for declinists, that's a very dystopian future, if you ask me.
I couldn't agree more. The digital divide is already a huge issue, and it's only going to get wider if we don't proactively address equitable access to these transformative technologies.
It's almost like a new form of evolution, but one driven by economic access rather than natural selection, and that would be a very human-made disaster. So, or at least has the potential to.
Yeah, and that brings us to the core of what it means to be human in all of this. AI taking over more cognitive tasks, with biotech blurring the lines of our physical selves and with new environments for violence and space.
Ah, the irrational decisions. That's definitely a uniquely human trait, isn't it? No AI is going to spontaneously decide to write a terrible poem or fall madly in love with the wrong person.
Maybe the future isn't about escaping our humanity, but about rediscovering it. As technology handles more of the mundane, we might have more time and capacity to lean into those deeply human experiences.
That's a beautiful thought. Perhaps the future of humanity is less about what we become physically or technologically, and more about what we reaffirm about our core values. How do we hold on to kindness, compassion, and instant curiosity?
It becomes a conscious choice, doesn't it? It's not just something that happens, it's something we have to actively cultivate. Education, philosophy, how to be human, even when around them is becoming superhuman or non-human.
I remember reading somewhere that the greatest challenge of the 21st century won't be technological, but rather philosophical. How do we adapt our ancient texts and values to radically new realities? That really resonates with me.
It does. So if you had to paint a picture, Don, of a plausible, somewhat optimistic future for humanity in, say, 100 years, what would it look like?
Okay, 100 years. I imagine a world where AI has taken over most routine, repetitive, and dangerous jobs. People are free to pursue creative endeavors, research, education, ingenuity, and a global shift in values towards sustainability.
That sounds pretty good. What about the inequality aspect you mentioned? Let's dive deeper into that.
That's the hard part. In my optimistic scenario, there's been a global realization that prosperity can't exist in isolated pockets. Policies like universal fulbrights and advanced Calabar expand reach and capability.
Wow, that's a truly hopeful vision. I like it. It requires an incredible amount of intentionalness as impressions ripened. Noreen spaces, more clean air, more respect for the delicate balance of our planet.
Oh, absolutely. The nature connection. That's so important for our mental and spiritual well-being. A future where technology enables us to be more connected to nature, not less. That's truly utopian.
Right. And perhaps even a more fluid understanding of identity, beyond traditional national or even species boundaries, as we interact with more diverse forms of intelligence in life, whether biological or artificial. It's about expanding our circle of empathy.
That's a very profound point, Jane. Expanding our circle of empathy to include AI, and to include potential extraterrestrial afraid. It's all include the future general life of, but a nest of us arrive.
Exactly. It's about what kind of story we want to tell ourselves and future generations about who we are and what we're capable of. Are we the species that self-destructed or the one that evolved into something truly remarkable and sustainable?
And that story is still being written every single day by every decision we make, big or small. It's exhilarating and terrifying all at once.
It truly is. So to our listeners, I think the takeaway is the future isn't fixed. It's not inevitable. It's a canvas we're all painting on right now. What brushstrokes are you adding?
It's a beautiful way to put it, Jane. Let's hope we paint a masterpiece together. Thank you for this incredibly thought-provoking conversation. It's given me a lot to ponder.
You too, Don Felix. Always a pleasure to dive deep with you. And to everyone listening, keep asking the big questions. It's how we'll find the best answers.